Listen to me very carefully. This message is not a coincidence. If your heart is hearing these words before the 18th of October, then you are not here by accident. God has something specific to say to you. There are 4 divine movements that heaven has already set in motion for your life. And before that day comes, you will begin to see them unfold. You may have been waiting for answers, searching for signs, or feeling forgotten. But the truth is, God has been working silently, preparing breakthroughs that your eyes haven't seen yet. The atmosphere around you is about to shift. The doors that refuse to open will open suddenly. The opportunities that passed you by are circling back under divine instruction. Something powerful is about to change. So don't let this moment pass you by. Open your heart and listen, because the words you're hearing are a confirmation of what your spirit already felt coming. God is not done with you. He's just getting ready to reveal what He promised. And if you want to stay connected to what heaven is about to release next, make sure you subscribe to the channel right now and stay alert, because these next few days could be the most important ones of your life. When God decides to move you into a new season, the first thing He does is separate you from what cannot go with you. It is never easy to lose what feels familiar, but divine elevation always begins with divine removal. There are people, habits, and environments that were once part of your journey, but cannot exist in your next chapter. You may not understand why certain doors closed or why some relationships suddenly faded. But in the realm of the Spirit, God is making room for something greater. Every time something or someone exits your life, it is not rejection. It is redirection. When God removes, He is protecting your future from unnecessary pain. There are voices that would distract you from your calling, and there are connections that would delay your destiny. So, in His wisdom, God disconnects you before they destroy what He designed for you. What looks like loss is often the soil of your next level. When divine separation begins, it often feels painful because it challenges your attachment. You question yourself. You question others. You even question God. You ask why it had to end this way. But the truth is, you cannot hold on to the old while expecting the new to manifest. God cannot fill what you refuse to empty. You have been praying for blessings, but blessings require space. When heaven prepares to release something bigger, it clears out what no longer belongs. You might see this as a setback, but it is actually a cleansing. You are being refined for something sacred. God cannot build on unstable ground, so He shakes what is not secure. When people walk away, it is because their role in your story has been completed. When opportunities slip through your hands, it is because they were not assigned to your season. What God has written for you cannot be stolen, delayed, or replaced. Everything that leaves your life under His hand is part of His strategy to position you for fulfillment. You must understand that divine removal is not punishment. It is preparation for expansion. There are some lessons you can only learn through loss. There are certain levels of strength you can only gain through solitude. When you stop fighting against what God is taking away, you begin to see His purpose unfold with clarity. God removes to refine, and He refines to reveal. He is shaping your character, purifying your motives, and increasing your capacity to handle what's coming. If He allowed everyone and everything to stay, your blessing would break you instead of build you. Sometimes, the things you are crying over are the same things God is protecting you from. You might not see it now, but in time, you will thank Him for every closed door. You will look back and realize that what you thought was rejection was actually direction toward destiny. The power of divine separation is that it brings restoration. Once God clears the unnecessary, He fills the space with purpose. He surrounds you with people who carry your next assignment. He connects you with doors that lead to greater influence. He places you in environments that nurture your anointing instead of draining it. You begin to feel lighter, stronger, and clearer about who you are and where you are going. Every removal carries a promise. Every goodbye carries growth. Every ending carries a beginning. God never subtracts without adding something better. So do not mourn what is leaving. Rejoice for what is coming. The pruning may hurt, but it prepares you for fruitfulness. This is the moment where heaven is aligning your path with destiny. Stay steady. Keep your spirit open. What God is taking away is small compared to what He is about to release. You are not losing. You are being positioned. God is removing the unnecessary so He can reveal the extraordinary. When God decides to elevate your life, He does not wait for your situation to become perfect. He moves suddenly, and His timing often interrupts your comfort. The moment heaven releases a new assignment, opportunities begin to appear that seem unexpected but are perfectly aligned with your destiny. These are not random chances. They are divine appointments. You may not recognize them at first because they often come disguised in ordinary form. A conversation, a small invitation, a single decision can carry the seed of a breakthrough. When God opens a door, it rarely looks like what you imagined. It may seem too small or too risky, but every major change begins with one step of obedience. When you sense a shift, do not hesitate. The window of divine timing is sacred. God's favor waits for movement, not delay. The opportunity may seem unfamiliar, but it carries your next chapter inside it. Every open door God sends requires discernment. Not everything that glitters is gold. Some paths appear promising but carry distraction. You must learn to recognize the difference between what looks good and what is ordained. Divine opportunities carry peace even when they challenge you. They stretch your faith, but never steal your spirit. When you walk through the right door, your soul feels alignment even when your mind feels uncertain. This is how you know it is from God. He does not just open doors, He opens hearts. When something is divine, it will not demand that you lose your integrity or your purpose to obtain it. God's opportunities protect your character while expanding your reach. When heaven invites you forward, you will feel an inner confirmation, a deep knowing that this is the moment you've been waiting for. That gentle pull inside is the voice of God leading you toward His plan. These divine opportunities are not rewards for perfection, but responses to persistence. God honors those who remain faithful in hidden seasons. When no one was watching, you kept believing. When doors closed, you kept praying. When nothing made sense, you stayed committed. That faith has reached heaven. Now, the harvest season has begun. The same prayers that once felt ignored are now manifesting as open doors. Do not let fear make you hesitate. Fear disguises itself as logic, but faith thrives on movement. When God presents an opportunity, move with courage. You might not have all the answers, but obedience brings revelation. When you take one bold step forward, heaven takes 10 toward you. Every divine door requires you to walk in faith before you see the full picture. Trust that what God has begun, He will complete. This is your time to act. Every opportunity carries expiration. The moment you recognize God's signal, respond without hesitation. Heaven rewards action rooted in faith. You are not walking into random events, but into carefully designed alignments. The right people will appear at the right time. The right words will come to your lips. The right place will meet your steps. This is how divine timing works. Everything falls into harmony when you move in obedience. Stop waiting for certainty. Start walking in conviction. The path may seem narrow, but it leads to expansion. This is how God takes you from waiting to winning. Your next level will not arrive through striving, but through sensitivity to His leading. Stay alert. Stay ready. The opportunity you are praying for might already be at your door. Open it with faith and let God reveal what He has prepared. The breakthrough you desire is hidden in obedience to this moment. Walk through it boldly, because heaven has already declared this is your time. When God begins to move in your life, He often does it in silence. There are seasons when it feels like heaven has gone quiet, like your prayers vanish into empty air. Yet this silence is not rejection. It is preparation. God works behind curtains, arranging things you cannot yet see. He is shifting hearts, removing obstacles, and positioning people for your arrival. You might think nothing is changing, but the unseen realm is alive with activity. Every delay carries divine purpose. Sometimes He hides His hand so that your faith can grow stronger. The silence is where spiritual muscles develop. Waiting is not wasted time. It is sacred ground where character is built, patience is refined, and vision becomes clear. When nothing seems to move, trust that God is working in hidden places. He does not need noise to perform wonders. His greatest miracles are often wrapped in stillness. The silence of God can feel unbearable when you are desperate for an answer. It tests every ounce of your trust. You wonder if you have been forgotten, if your voice still matters. But faith does not grow in comfort. It grows in contradiction. God is not ignoring you, He is strengthening you. When He hides, He is teaching you how to walk without sight. This is where spiritual maturity begins. You learn to rely not on emotions, but on His Word. You learn to worship even when you do not feel His presence. That is the kind of faith that moves mountains. Anyone can believe when life feels good. True belief is proven when you cannot see a sign, yet choose to stand firm. God's silence sharpens discernment. It helps you separate what you want from what you need. It trains your heart to recognize His whisper over the noise of the world. When He finally speaks, you will value every word because you have waited for it with endurance. In these silent seasons, God is not only shaping your faith, but also shielding your destiny. Sometimes He keeps doors closed because what waits behind them is not ready for you. Other times, He is protecting your promise from premature exposure. If you step into something before its time, you risk losing it. God loves you too much to let that happen. That is why He delays. Not to deny you, but to preserve you. When you finally step into what you have been praying for, it will not collapse under pressure because you have been strengthened to hold it. His timing perfects your readiness. He withholds until you can sustain the weight of His blessing. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Every unanswered prayer, every quiet night, every tear shed in solitude is watering the soil of your next breakthrough. When God finally moves, everything happens suddenly. What took years to pray for can appear in a single moment. This is why you must remain faithful in silence. The same God who seems distant is the one who is setting up your surprise. He has already written the end of your story. He knows when to reveal it. Your task is not to figure out the timing, but to remain steadfast. Keep believing even when the evidence disappears. Keep praising even when it feels pointless. The silence will not last forever. When heaven breaks its quiet, the sound will be victory. Every unanswered moment will make sense. The doors that stayed closed will reveal their purpose. You will look back and realize the silence was your greatest teacher. It taught you endurance, patience, and unshakable faith. So hold still. Keep trusting. God's silence is not the absence of His power, but the sign that something powerful is being prepared. When the right moment comes, everything will shift, and you will understand that He never stopped working for you. When God is about to bless you, He often allows confusion to surround you. It feels as if everything that once made sense begins to fall apart. You start questioning decisions, doubting people, even wondering if you somehow lost His favor. But this confusion is not chaos. It is a sacred rearrangement. God allows uncertainty to shake everything that is not stable so that what remains is genuine. He is clearing your path of anything that cannot carry you into the next chapter. Discomfort you feel is not a curse. It is a divine disruption meant to separate you from what no longer belongs to your destiny. Confusion becomes the tool through which clarity is born. God removes false attachments, illusions, and distractions to make room for what He truly promised. So when everything around you stops making sense, do not panic. It means something greater is being aligned for you. During this time, God tests what your heart is anchored to. He allows familiar things to fade so that your trust shifts fully toward Him. The people you once relied on might distance themselves. Opportunities you thought were permanent may suddenly vanish. He allows this because you were never meant to depend on what can change. The foundation of your future must be built on something eternal. When confusion surrounds you, it reveals what you truly believe in. It exposes what you worship quietly: comfort, control, or convenience. God removes those false securities so that your faith becomes unshakable. Confusion pushes you to surrender. It forces you to let go of your need to understand everything and instead rest in His sovereignty. That surrender is not weakness. It is the moment your spirit becomes aligned with divine wisdom. In confusion, faith is purified, and obedience becomes your only anchor. This stage often feels like walking through fog. You see fragments of what could be, but not the full picture. The vision seems blurred, and your plans lose direction. Yet God is using this blindness to sharpen your inner sight. He wants you to follow His voice instead of your logic. The fog is training you to move by faith, step by step, without depending on full understanding. When you cannot see the path, you learn to trust the guide. Every uncertain moment draws you closer to His presence. He teaches you how to hear the subtle instructions of the Spirit. What feels like confusion is actually divine recalibration. God is not punishing you. He is positioning you. He knows that if you could see everything ahead, you might settle too soon or turn in the wrong direction. So He hides certain details to keep you walking by faith. Then suddenly, what was once unclear begins to take shape. The confusion that once caused anxiety now starts revealing purpose. You begin to see why certain people left, why certain doors never opened, why you had to walk through seasons of silence and pain. Everything starts aligning with divine precision. You realize that what looked like disorder was actually divine order in disguise. The people who doubted you will witness the reason behind your endurance. God will turn every moment of uncertainty into a testimony of His wisdom. When the fog clears, you emerge refined, stronger, and wiser. The confusion was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to prepare you for revelation. Every unanswered question becomes an anchor of understanding. Every painful delay transforms into a lesson of strength. So if you are in that season right now where nothing seems clear, take heart. God has not forgotten you. He is not ignoring your cries. He is simply working in ways that human eyes cannot perceive. Confusion often comes right before clarity. The shaking precedes stability. The mess you see today is the soil where miracles grow. Do not give up in the fog, because when it lifts, you will step into something greater than what you imagined. The things that once frightened you will become proof of His faithfulness. The confusion was the doorway, not the end. When you walk through it with trust, you reach a place where every uncertainty transforms into divine revelation. Your breakthrough will carry the mark of His power, and you will know that every moment of confusion was worth it. You may not see it now, but heaven is working behind the scenes, setting things in motion that your eyes can't yet recognize. Every delay, every silence, every closed door was never rejection. It was redirection toward the promise meant only for you. God hasn't forgotten your name. He's just preparing the perfect moment to reveal what's been hidden. So lift your head, keep your spirit strong, and trust that what's coming will silence every doubt. Your time is near. Your breakthrough is closer than it seems. Stay rooted in faith, because when God moves, everything changes in an instant. And before you go, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you never miss what God is speaking next. Your next word might be the one that shifts your entire life.